snowed. It hasn't snowed at all.
Stop it. No.
What is that? What is that? Where is it? What are those? What are those? Wait, no, but what is that? Cannot be marshmallow. What the fuck? It looks. No. Ew.
Welcome back. Back with another banger. It's the React Files, where we react
to the creepiest, craziest, scariest TikToks. You shouldn't watch alone.
I hope you're having a wonderful holiday. And if you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. Cause what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Let's get straight to it.
In a cozy corner of hell, the devil sat comfortably in his favorite reading chair. With a mischievous smile, he held a book titled
The Tale of Santa Claus and the Stolen Traditions.
Ho, ho, ho!
As he delved into the pages, he learned about the origins of the Christmas tree, a stolen tradition from the pagans and ancient Egyptians. The devil chuckled to himself, thinking how easily humans were influenced by borrowed customs. The story explained that during the winter solstice, pagans in Europe used branches of evergreen for trees to decorate their homes and lift their spirits. Even the early Romans employed evergreens in their temples during the festival of Saturnalia. The ancient Egyptians, in their worship of the god Ra, used green palm rushes to symbolize growth and renewal. The devil found it fascinating how these traditions had intertwined over time. He pondered on the significance of the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year, which marked the turning point towards longer days and renewed hope. It was the reason people celebrated this time with light and joy. In the midst of his contemplation, a knock echoed at the door of his lair. Curiosity propelled the devil to his feet. There stood a bewildered St. Nick, jolly and round, donned in his festive red attire.
Santa Claus,
Grinned the devil.
I see you found my story.
St. Nick nodded, looking slightly embarrassed.
I never knew the tale behind Santa Claus and the stolen traditions. Thank you for enlightening me.
Ho, ho, ho!
The devil, relishing his chance at something unexpected, said,
Come, Saint Nicholas. I shall help deliver your first set of presents. Let it be a toast to the merging of traditions.
and so, Satan and St. Nick embarked on a unique journey, distributing presents to the world together. With each gift they bestowed, they carried the essence of the stolen traditions and the spirit of the winter solstice. And when they returned to hell, the devil couldn't help but smile at the irony of his involvement in rearrangement of his own name, Satan. Thus, the devil and Santa Claus continued their unlikely partnership, reminding the world that joy could be found even in the most unexpected of alliances.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard that story. Very creepy. Kind of saying on the very first run, right? They did it together. Man.
Someone just snuck into Bohemian Grove, recorded it, and posted it on YouTube, and it wasn't Alex Jones. The site was completely empty. There wasn't any secret meetings or rituals going on, but he did get a good video of the big owl inside of it and what goes on around it. And if you saw my 3-part series about Bohemian Grove, you know that this is a pretty big deal because of the stuff that goes on in it and the people that attend these meetings.
No way.
Yeah, that's the owl. A bunch of ferns have grown on it. can go like behind the owl. They got some outlets.
Now that took a lot of guts. I'm surprised he didn't mention the crosses that was on the ground when he was coming down the steps. Then he turned the camera and came back and it was still there. I wonder if those were little burial, plots or whatnot next to that tree. What you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you see it?
Scusi. Io c'ho ansia.
No.
È chiusa, vero? Controlla che sia chiusa.
Sì, chiusa. No, chiusa qualcosa. No.
Oddio.
Mano, verso dietro. Mano, marcia indietro. Partito.
Vai, è libero.
So I'm assuming most of you have heard of the Krampus, but for those of you who have been living under a rock, let me tell you about him real quick.
This monster has made quite the name for himself in the past several years. He even got his own motion picture in 2015. The word Krampus means claw, and is featured in Christmas parties by certain alpine villages. The Krampus is known to have long, sharp claws, sheepskin clothing, horns, and a wooden switch that he uses to swat children and unsuspecting young ladies. The Krampus's job is to punish those who have been naughty, while his counterpart, Santa Claus, rewards those who were nice. Anthropologists agree that the legend of the Krampus most likely derives from some sort of ancient horned god in the Alpine region of Europe, likely Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Slovenia, or Germany. It's assumed this entity was assimilated into the popular imagery associated with the devil by Christians. During the 15th and 16th centuries, masked devils began appearing in church plays during traditional winter celebrations. These cheeky events eventually became part of the pre-Christmas fun that takes place each year.
I've heard about Krampus, but this is my first time really hearing the folklore and the story of it. So it seems to me he's like the counterpart to Santa. Like, duality of it all.
Now believe, Swain, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire.
Prince of all mortal wisdom, Owl of Bohemia, we beseech thee, grant us thy counsel.
Get! Now, that's all you have to do.
Today, for he has anointed me to preach. He has anointed me to heal. He has anointed me. Today? Oh, there's coming a one. Yes, like Moses of old. There's they're coming one. Oh, yeah. What? Say what? We know your mama. We know your daddy. No, they didn't. They didn't know his dad. That was a problem. Yeah.
Who's to say that was him, actually, with the voice, right? At the same time, that shit was creepy as hell. That shit was creepy.
The biggest issue is the ritual itself. People see the ritual, they hear the stuff. It's almost like a massive drama that's going on. It looks like a big dramatic thing when you hear the voice of the speaker, the person behind speaking about the cremation of care and be gone, and he screams all these things out. And then the audience of presidents and senators and the world's elite all begin to clap. First we have to ask, who has the clout to bring world leaders, presidents, kings of the earth, media moguls, military generals. Who has the power to bring those people together in one location? Why would anybody, any human being, even if it was just a fake, mock human sacrifice, who would go to that? So even if it was mock, even if it was fake, why would world leaders, powerful people, go there and applaud at the end if it was fake? Here's what I believe without question about Bohemian Grove. Some are there because they've been invited to be influenced. They're unwitting to what's going on. Many, if not most, are witting to what's going on. They know what's happening. When we found out the reasons for the ritual at Bohemian Grove, the human sacrifice that would go on, it's not Moloch, but goes back to Sumer, more likely to Semiramis and the most ancient of the ancient gods, small g, and the ritual of a human to be offered. So that in a ritual, as I said earlier, when a ritual is done, it's done as inspired by that side to open a doorway, to cause a release, to grant the door, to open the door so they can come through. So the most important thing is not only who gets them to come, who designs this to be done, and what's the real reason. The real reason is similar to Revelation 16. When out of the mouth of the false prophet, the beast, the Antichrist, and the dragon, come spirits sent to the kings of the earth to supernaturally gather them, to move them. You have a massively global scale, powerful ritual being done, so that when that human being is thrown, and probably alive, maybe drugged, but probably alive, thrown into the fires, burned alive, then the demons that have been right at the doorway, all of a sudden the doorway, the curtains come down, and that presence by target goes to the audience there. So in the real Luciferians, the reason they're doing this, summoning spirits, sending it on to the audience, world leaders, for influence, for inspiration, for preparation, to move them in one direction. It is an astounding ritual. How could it be happening on U.S. soil? It's a global class ritual. It's a powerful high place sitting on U.S. soil.
Bohemian Grove is a high holy place for the shadow government and has been since its infancy. The occultist movers and shakers of the world have long found demonically charged power and comfort in the blood rituals amidst this brotherhood of brotherhoods. What was once considered a conspiracy theory, this shadow government, has now broken out into the mainstream under a different name, possibly to soften the blow of its
The man asked a good question. Who has that type of clout to get everybody there? That's crazy. I couldn't imagine seeing no shit like that.
Don't care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, don't care. And all the winds make merry with thy doubts. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free.
I feel like that was the same voice screaming that was in the last video. And mind you, this is supposed to be some type of play. Like, so it's theatrics, you know what I mean? It's a drama. As you see, that was the place that man broke into. So, it looked like it's been years since it's been used, to be honest. Yeah, this shit's some crazy shit, man.
The Netflix movie Leave the World Behind is loaded with symbolism and Easter eggs to find. Now, just a heads up, this video does contain spoiler alerts, so first go watch the movie, then come back here. Now, one of the things that stands out clearly when you watch the movie is the colors blue and orange are everywhere. The movie starts out when they're in a blue bedroom, she's wearing a blue dress, they have a blue car, there's a blue tablet, everything seems to be blue. Even at the end of the movie, when Rose goes to grab the Friends DVD, the Friends DVDs were blue and orange. The movie starts out with Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke in a blue bedroom with a gigantic crack in the wall. Cracks can represent the physical manifestation of vulnerability, and cracks are often associated with fragility, highlighting the vulnerability of a system or something about to collapse. This movie was about the societal collapse. The opening credits are all black, white, and red. These colors are heavily associated with the Freemasonic Knights Templar, and the credits even end with the Illuminati Eye. And there was actually a painting filled with the Illuminati Eye when they first entered the house as well. Now, there are other hints of Freemasonic checkerboards throughout the whole movie. For instance, you have the boy wearing the checkered swim trunks. There's a scene where you also have the checkered... In the beginning of the movie, you have two lamps on the side of the bed. One of them is on, the other one is off. This could represent the two pillars in Freemasonry. The light being on, representing the sun, the light being off, representing the moon. On the way to the vacation home, they take exit 76 towards Point Comfort. In the year 1619, a ship carrying the first African slaves landed at Point Comfort. This ship was called the White Lion. In a scene later in the movie, a ship called the White Lion washes up on shore. Certain African legends describe white lions as spirit animals that come to warn us about dramatic changes on Earth, and they are thought to have protected humanity throughout time. At a point later in the movie, Ethan Hawke gets out of his car, and the station is even on 1619. Also in 1619, a Jamestown colonist, John Rolfe, used the term 20 and odd to describe the kidnapped slaves who are arriving. In a later scene, when the man's going to get the satellite phone, you see a bottle of Geist 20 and odd antifreeze. And a lot of people have pointed out the t-shirts that the boy and the girl are wearing. The girl is wearing a NASA shirt and the boy is wearing an Obey shirt. Some people are taking this as a hidden message to obey NASA or to agree with the mainstream narrative. There are also several paintings that change throughout the film. The painting in the living room starts out as seemingly four peaks, and it slowly transforms into something that's indistinguishable. There's the painting of the ocean behind the bed in the bedroom. Many people have noticed that the water rises as the movie progresses. Now, when they first receive the emergency response on the television, there's a map showing all of the area of the blackout. Now, on that map, there's a QR code over the state of Kentucky. People have scanned that QR code, and where it takes them is very strange. When they scanned it, it took them to the Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park. Creepy. Now, the Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park is located in Mercer County in Kentucky. Supposedly, the park was built over ancient Native American burial grounds. Many people thought that the land was cursed because the amusement park had several lethal accidents. At the timestamp of 17 minutes and 10 seconds, the movie pans to the Friends episode, Season 10, Episode 17. So you have the 17:10 going to the 10:17. The next scene, you have Ethan Hawke playing Jenga. He's discussing his job, and he says that media serves as both an escape and a reflection. So you literally just had the reflection, 17:10, timestamp of the movie, 10:17, Friends episode. At one point in the movie, Julia Roberts notices some deer out in the yard. Ethan Hawke then says that's a good omen in Mesoamerican mythology. However, when you look up the deer in Mesoamerican mythology, deer are associated with sacrifice. There's a scene in the movie where you see a sign, the Huxleys. Some are speculating that this is pointing to Aldous Huxley, the author of Brave New World, the dystopian novel that talks about psychological conditioning in a dystopian nightmare. So at the end of the movie, Rose decides to leave and go do her own thing, and she breaks into a house that says Thorns. And the girl who broke into the house was named Rose. Every rose has its thorns. There's a scene where Julia Roberts slaps down cigarettes on the counter. The brand name of the cigarettes is Providence. Providence can mean to take care or prepare in advance, having foresight. Now, she got this at the store where she saw the Kevin Bacon character preparing and having foresight of what is to come, the collapse. So these are just some of the things that I found, but I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. If you found anything else that I haven't found, let me know in the comments.
If he scratched the surface, that means that this is not a rabbit hole. This is an iceberg. I didn't even realize that she's seen Kevin Bacon at the store. And that Kevin Bacon was the guy with the blue pill. Also, how do you find 1710, 1017? It's an escape and reflection. The pack of cigarettes. Yo, this is way... Like I said, every time I think, I done found it all. Like, alright, I'm gonna move on. Boom. There's more. And shout outs to Strange Sauna Show. This guy is brilliant. Whether he found them or whoever's finding it for him, appreciate you putting it out there. Because now we got it. We can share it. Now that's deep. What y'all think? Rabbit hole or iceberg? Which one?
In the fiery depths of the underworld, the devil sat upon his throne, adorned with crimson robes and a wicked grin. He was known for his insatiable appetite for all things evil and wicked. But today, a peculiar book caught his attention. A worn, leather-bound volume titled The Legend of Krampus. Curiosity ignited within the devil as he delved into the ancient tale. It began with the origin of Krampus, a mythical creature hailing from German folklore. Krampus, he learned, was once a kind and gentle spirit who protected the innocent. But one fateful day, the darkness consumed his heart, and he transformed into a terrifying monster. Intrigued, the devil summoned his powers and transported himself to the snowy mountains, where Krampus was said to dwell. With a mighty gust of wind, he arrived before the shrouded figure of Krampus, his gnarled horns piercing the shadows.
Krampus,
the devil spoke, his voice dripping with fascination.
Tell me your story.
Krampus turned his piercing gaze towards the devil, a wicked smile cutting across his twisted face.
I am the embodiment of retribution.
He snarled.
Every year, as the festive season approaches, I prowl the snowy wilderness, seeking out those who have been naughty. I punish the misbehaved, souls bringing terror and ensuring they learned their lesson.
The devil's eyes gleamed with delight as Krampus continued his story. The devil marveled at the gleeful torment Krampus inflicted, relishing in the delightful tales of mischief and punishment. The depths of wickedness that Krampus reached thrilled the devil to his fiery core. With newfound respect for Krampus, the devil extended a clawed hand, forged from the darkness itself.
Krampus,
he declared,
you and I shall be partners in darkness. Together, we shall orchestrate chaos and sow the seeds of fear across the realm of mortals.
A sinister alliance was formed between the devil and Krampus, their malevolent spirits intertwining. From that day forward, they roamed the world, spreading wickedness and terrorizing the hearts of both the naughty and the nice. And so, as the devil and Krampus unleashed their reign of wickedness, tales of their malevolence echoed through the generations. Their dark alliance ensured that no misdeed would go unpunished, leaving the world trembling in fear of the horrors they would bring.
That's crazy. Seems like the devil was cool with Saint Nick and Krampus. He was cool with everybody. They all in on it.
So I don't know how many of you guys know, but Christmas has a very dark, occult, and in some cultures, satanic origin. The ancient Moabites would celebrate a public mass involving a public child sacrifice during the winter solstice and during December 25th. Parents would compile long lists of wishes that contained the things they would like to see within the next year. And if you think about what we do now, what kids are taught to do is write a Christmas list.
Yeah, wish list every year.
Wish list and Santa letter, communicating with this deity and telling it what they want to receive. The parents would bring their screaming infants to Moloch and place them on his flaming lap. What do parents do today when they go to take their kids, their infants, their newborns to take a picture with?
Santa right on his lap.
And how many pictures have you seen of kids crying and bawling their eyes out?
Yeah,
in
screaming,
fear?
screaming.
In fear.
Moloch There's another biblical figure, Chemosh.
I think I've heard of that, yeah.
Chemosh is just another name for Moloch.
There's also Moloch, the owl god, that's worshipped at the Bohemian Grove. Coincidentally, at the Bohemian Grove, they also do a mock ceremony that mimics a sacrifice, a human sacrifice.
There's actually a Moabite stone with the name Balak mentioned on the stone.
Wow.
And this ties with Balaam or Baal.
Kind of sounds like it's on the same track with everything we've been discussing in this video. It's crazy, this deity called Moloch. Just now hearing about it. But I know it was in one of my videos about 2-3 videos back, overseas. It was that statue and the Tower of Babel scene. I didn't know it was, it had ties to Christmas. That's crazy.
Yeah, a heathen. Yeah. Not a Christian. A heathen. Heathen. I want to emphasize on the H. A heathen.
That's right.
Huh? I want you to get the breathe. Bible says Jesus breathed on them.
That's right.
A heathen.
Amen.
Judge yourself now.
Amen.
Judge yourself.
Yeah.
All of you that say Jesus was born December 25th, you lied on the Son of Man.
That's right.
You lied on the Messiah. That's right. You lied on Christ. Yeah. When you go to a church and your preacher got to preach a sermon, you got a heathen for a pastor.
Yeah.
In fact, if any of you here are pastors here in Dover, Delaware, and that's what you told the people, you's a heathen.
That's a heathen.
You's a Pentecostal or Apostolic or Baptist or non-denominational or Lutheran or Mormon. Heathen.
Amen.
Are you listening to the old troublemaker?
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord.
Learn not.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Why?
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Read to Dover, Delaware what the heathens do here.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Anything that's vain is no good.
No good.
What do they do, son?
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Oh. Cut it. You ain't got to cut it now. They cut it for you and sell it to you.
That's right.
They cut the tree down at the forest. What they do, son?
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
What they do?
They deck it.
With what?
With silver and with gold. Deck it. Deck it.
And what did God call them that do this?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
And what do the heathen do to the tree?
They deck it with silver and with gold. It's right there.
Fa la 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 la.
I found it funny that the tree is like right there next to him, right? All decorated. That's a nice tree. I mean, he has a funny voice, man, but he speaks with a lot of conviction. A heathen, right? It brought me to the Suicide Squad song that I like, Heathens by 21 Pilots.
What secrets lie inside Bohemian Grove? Bohemian Grove is a private campground in the woods of Northern California, where annually, in July, elite men gather for a 17-day retreat. The attendees include media correspondents, prominent CEOs, and even former presidents like Nixon and Reagan. The Grove is tightly guarded year-round by private security, prohibiting outsiders from witnessing the activities held within. But in the year 2000, filmmaker Alex Jones managed to infiltrate the Grove and captured unsettling footage of robed men performing a ritual in front of Moloch the owl god. On top of that, Bohemian Grove gained notoriety as the site of a crucial 1942 meeting that led to the development of the atomic bomb, leading to speculation that Bohemian Grove is used as a place for the elites to meet to discuss devious plans for the world.
Man, I thought they were getting together for just like a weekend or something. My man said 17 days. 2 weeks and a weekend. Man, that's a little too long to be from the loved ones, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey man, we gotta cut this short.
I know you consider yourself a Catholic, but what happens when you worship Moloch at the Bohemian Grove? New York Post says that male prostitutes are shipped into the Bohemian Grove. Can you tell us what happens there?
You actually believe all this junk?
Bill Clinton said that Republicans run around naked in the woods there.
As you say, the Bohemian Club? That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right? I've never been to the Bohemian Club, but you ought to go. It'd be good for you. Get some fresh air.
And you don't want to know what Richard Nixon said about the place.
The Bohemian Grove that I attend, one time at a time, the Easterners and the others that come there, but it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will could ever imagine on San Francisco crowd, because it's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
That's the place you attended. It's a secret society. Can you tell us at least who invited you?
You know, it's nice to know that there's some people who have fantasy lives that have nothing to touch with. Nice to be here. Bye-bye.
You can't answer the question? You can't? Can you answer the question? See you later.
What do you want me to talk about?
Yeah.
A fraud? No, it wasn't a fraud, but I'll be glad to talk to you if you'll shut up and let me talk now. And a fraud, let me tell you something. I'll tell you a couple of stories about fraud. The Bohemian Club, as you say, the Bohemian Club? Yeah. That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right? I've never been to the Bohemian Club, but you ought to go. It'd be good for you. Get some fresh air.
They were sending their wives home at 9 p.m. And if that article was real that came out in the New York Post, I never heard of that. It's like, what? Something's crazy. Something's fishy. Right? I don't know. Can't put my finger on it, y'all. It's supposed to be theater, man. It's supposed to be a play. So.
In the depths of the fiery pits, the devil sat perched upon his throne, surrounded by a multitude of grim souls and flickering flames. With a hint of mischief in his eyes, he pulled out a tattered book from a hidden compartment. The book was titled,
A Devil's Christmas Carol.
It was a tale about a young boy named Timmy, who found himself alone at home Christmas Eve. His father, a hard-working man, was toiling away at the factory, leaving Timmy with nothing but his father's token of love, a single wrapped present. As the night grew darker, a group of carolers, their voices filled with religious devotion, decided to spread their cheer to Timmy's house. But alas, one caroler, known as Mischievous Marvin, noticed the single present left unattended and couldn't resist temptation. With a mischievous twinkle in his eyes, Marvin snatched the gift and darted away, leaving poor Timmy heartbroken. The devil, being far from heartless, felt a pang of sympathy for the boy. He summoned his loyal companion,
Krampus.
The fearsome beast scoured the streets until he found Mischievous Marvin hiding in a nearby alley. With a thunderous roar, Krampus confronted Marvin, revealing his long, sharp horns and rattling chains. Terrified, Marvin pleaded for mercy, promising to return the stolen present immediately. Meanwhile, the devil summoned Santa Claus himself as Krampus dragged a trembling caroler back to Timmy's doorstep. Santa appeared with a twinkle in his eye and a jolly laugh. He handed Timmy a new gift, even more magnificent than the one before, and gave Mischievous Marvin a stern but forgiving lecture. That night, with the devil as his unexpected companion, Timmy's heart mended. They shared stories, exchanged laughter, and even sang a few off-key carols. Under the watchful eyes of the devil and the jolly presence of Santa, the once dreadful Christmas Eve transformed into a beautiful morrie for young Timmy.
Hey, shout outs to Storytime with the Devil 666 for all these wonderful animations. Certainly did a great job. We salute and applaud you. We wish you a Merry Christmas. What y'all think about these stories, guys? I think it's very intriguing. I think it's well done. The art is great. Of course, it's AI. But, you know, Gotta give credit where credit's due.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. As long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday. And if you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. Because what we gonna do, y'all, that's right, run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.